Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing and the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your host, Angie Scott and Barb Carey.
This is my special guest, Cheryl Smith, and she was actually on our show, episode 15. She's a United States licensed master captain, and she talked about her journey to getting her captain's license on that show. And now today we're all the way on episode 117, so we're happy to welcome Cheryl back. Thanks, Yamaha, for having us out today to talk about women and fishing. And we're really excited to be here. We just this week got named Best Outdoor Podcast of 2019 by the Outdoor Media Summit. So it's exciting times right now. And Cheryl, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Cheryl Smith. As she said, I'm also known as Outdoor Girl on social media. I'm an outdoor writer for Illinois Outdoor News, and I also do seminars and work for companies such as Croix Rods, Daiwa Reels, Stealth Rod Holders, Mossy Oak Fishing, and many others. I've been working in the industry for 9 years now, and I'm happy to be here. I thank Yamaha, and I thank you also.
Awesome. Thanks for coming back on the show.
It's fun.
So before we get into our discussion about women and fishing, I wanted to share a couple stats from our friends over at the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation. They do a lot of research in the industry, and a couple things that they've come out with recently is 45% of new anglers are women, and that's really awesome. It is. More women than ever are getting involved in fishing, and that's great. But only 19% of them see themselves represented in the fishing industry, and 6 in 10 women can't name an outdoor female role model. So there's still some work that needs to be done.
I agree, definitely.
Yeah, so you mentioned you've been in the industry for 9 years now. How have you seen it change over that time for women in fishing specifically?
Well, when I first started 9 years ago, my first experience in the industry was Croix Rods, and I noticed there weren't many females. I'm from Illinois, and we didn't have a lot of females in the industry. We didn't have a lot of females even really coming to the trade shows. And I know that Croix Rods was very helpful with that because a lot of the customers that came in the booth, they really didn't see me as being taken serious and knowledgeable with rods. They didn't even give me a chance, and which was great because Croix Rods, as far as like them being helpful, they stuck by me and they pushed me to, if somebody came in the booth, they're like, well, Cheryl can help you. And they really encouraged me in that way. They knew that I had a thick skin and I was having staying power. I wasn't going anywhere. And now I see more females in the industry, and I see people more accepting, male and female. And it's been great. I love seeing more females in the industry and in the sport.
Yeah. Not just pro staffing, but actually out there fishing the tournaments.
Exactly,
stuff like that. So as you're doing these seminars and you're working trade shows and you're at the retailers showing products and such, what kind of observations have you made for women that come up and might have questions? And
yeah, it's really interesting. There's obviously different personalities with anybody, male or female. But I've noticed with females, they're very standoffish. They're afraid to come in and ask the questions. They're afraid that they're not going to be taken serious, or they're going to be laughed at if they ask the wrong question or say the wrong thing. So that's been something that I've noticed a lot over the years, and we try to encourage them to come in and just ask those questions. And now that there's more females in the industry, they feel a little bit more comfortable approaching us as far as, whether it be a male or a female. They're just more comfortable with other females.
So if you see us about here at the show, feel free to come up and ask us questions.
Yeah, please. And I mean, there's many females here, whether they're tournament anglers or even corporate positions, or us walking the show with your podcast, and I'll be in a few booths. So yeah, if you're a female here at the show, come and approach us, ask us questions, and we're all different aspects in the industry, so we're very happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
We've been doing this podcast for a couple years now, and as I've been approaching different guests to come on the show, I have run into some of the ladies. They feel like, I'm not, I don't really have anything of value to share, kind of a little bit of lacking confidence. And
right.
What I found is everybody has something that they can contribute, whether you're a beginner, or you've been doing this a long time, nobody really feels like they're an expert.
Right.
And you have something of value. So, I watched a podcast here in the last couple weeks that Christine Fisher was on. And if you don't know who Christine Fisher is, she's a kayak tournament angler. She actually just fished the BASS Open.
Yeah.
She finished 21st out of 222 anglers.
Yeah, we're so happy for her. That's
really awesome. But she had a quote. She said, people who are brand new to the sport, they have the power to be inspiring.
They do.
I think that's so important to remember.
And we were talking about that, too, over the last few days. And I know that you had said where you interviewed somebody that said that they didn't really feel they had a lot to offer. And then you went back and reviewed their story, and you're like, you were really impressed by that female.
Yeah.
And, and I think that's something we all need to remember is that we all have something to offer. And we're all willing to hear what your story is.
So sometimes, with social media and the internet and stuff, we see a lot of kind of competition between women. What have you observed in that regard?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's never probably going to go away, and I don't think it's specific to females. I think it's focused on more with females, but I think it's across the board, male and female, and I think we need to be reminded to be more positive, whether it be male or female, and just encourage each other, because it's a big world of fishing. Whether you're going to be in the industry or whether you're going to just be fishing, there's room for everybody.
Right. And whether you're fly fishing or you're conventional fishing, there's a group of us actually that have gotten together, just some fly anglers and some conventional anglers. We've been talking about this, and pretty soon we're going to be launching something called a social media pledge. And it's just something where everybody can come together and focus on positivity, uplifting one another, men, women, everybody.
Right. Yeah, I think it's needed. And it's something that's just going to remind people through social media just to be positive and encourage each other. I think it's great.
Yeah. So speaking of men, I've been looking at demographics. This show is called The Woman Angler and Adventurer, but we actually have almost over 40% of men that listen to our show. And that's just really speaks to men are really interested in finding out how they can be supportive and more helpful to women.
Right.
Has that been your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even through tournament fishing, when I first signed up for the local tournaments for bass tournaments, the guys were so encouraging, and they were rooting me on, and they're like, we want to see you up there, cashing a check. And I think it's great. And with my companies, I've seen the same thing. And I think I've noticed that too, even on social media. I think men are just really happy that we're here and encouraging, and I think it's great.
Yeah, that's been my experience as well. I'm part of Team Nashville Bassmasters in Nashville, and I'm the only female in the club, and hopefully that changes soon. But everybody's been super supportive, and it's been great. Great learning experience. So, as some parting words of encouragement for women that are wanting to get in the industry, just kind of get out there and maybe step out of your comfort zone a little bit, give it a try. I think you're going to find that men, women, everybody, it's more supportive than maybe what you think.
Right.
And any parting words from you?
I agree 100%. If there's seminars everywhere, no matter where you're from, jump into a seminar somewhere, whether it be through one of your local bait shops or one of the clubs. And the club seminars are great because even if you're not a club member, you can go to the meeting, and then you can talk to the other members and maybe even join the club and start fishing with their club. So yeah, there's so many opportunities out there to talk to other people and just get plugged into the fishing industry. We encourage everybody. Yeah. So it's great.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks again to Yamaha for having us out today. And everybody enjoy the Bassmaster Classic and the Expo.
Thank you.